Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share my favorite whole wheat bread recipe with you. Believe it or not, I got the recipe from the bag of whole wheat flour. I tried to make it, it was not bad, but I've decided to make it better. So I've made some adjustments to the recipe. A slice of a whole wheat bread provides 80 calories, about 3 grams of fiber, and up to 5 grams of protein. Whole wheat flour is partially or entirely milled from a whole or almost whole wheat grains. So as you can see, it's a very healthy bread. So I've decided to do some research. I talked to the bakers and I was recommended this whole wheat bread flour, which I purchased. And by the way, this is the bag. The guy who delivered the bag to my house had to bring the dolly. But the good news, yay, because I'm making this bread every week. I'm almost halfway through this wonderful flour. To make a good bread, you need precise measurements of all the ingredients. So I am using the kitchen scales. We're gonna need 500 grams of whole wheat bread flour. Also, we will need 15 grams of sugar. Here you go. We will need 10 grams of salt. Here you go. And also, and that's the adjustment I made to the original recipe, we will need 35 grams of olive oil, or you could use vegetable oil. Let's first add salt to your whole wheat bread flour. And here's another adjustment I made to improve the taste of this bread, which is ground coriander. You can start with the 1 teaspoon and see if you like the taste, but I added 2 teaspoons of ground coriander. We're just gonna mix all the dry ingredients and they're ready. Let's move on to the liquids, which is 350 milliliters of room temperature water. We're gonna take out about 150 milliliters and we're gonna add sugar to a smaller amount of water and we're gonna microwave it for about 20 seconds and be careful not to get that water really hot because yeast is a living thing and it is killed off at high temperatures around 140 degrees. So warm up the water so you could just put your finger in there. Then we will need active dry yeast, and I like this company because they make a 7-gram packets of dry yeast, because sometimes you see them 8 grams, 10 grams, 9 grams or 6 grams, but this is a perfect amount of yeast that you need to use to make bread. So we're just gonna mix it in warm water and sugar, and to the rest of the water we're gonna add our olive oil. So what we're doing with the yeast, we are testing it to make sure it's active and ready to go. And as you can see, it created a lot of bubbles, and so our yeast is ready. Then we need a dough-proof container or a bowl, a simple bowl. We're just gonna oil it a little bit so the dough doesn't stick to it. And we are ready to mix our dough, finally. And by the way, I'm gonna use the machine, which is Kenwood Chef Titanium Mixer. In the bowl of that mixer, I'm gonna place all our dry ingredients. Then I'm gonna make a little crater. And into that crater, I'm gonna pour our yeast and sugar, and then about 2/3 of amount of water and oil. And then we need a dough hook attachment, and we're gonna start the machine. And of course, you could mix your dough by hand, but I like using the machine because it is quite sticky dough. Then we're gonna slowly start adding the rest of the water. I pretty much left just 1 tablespoon of that water. I'm gonna see what my dough looks like. So we're gonna knead it for about 10 minutes. It looks like I needed the whole amount of water. And after 10 minutes, your dough looks like this. It's gonna form a ball, and it's not gonna be sticking to your hands anymore. It's gonna look very smooth and pliable, and is very pleasant dough. Close the lid of your container, and we need to stick it in a warm place and proof it for about an hour and a half. So I have a setting on my stove, which is, you can see, bread proof. So I'm gonna proof my dough in my oven, but you guys can proof it in any warm place that you have in your house, because it's gonna take some time for this dough to rise. Let's talk about some bread containers. So this one is a bread loaf baking form by Kaiser. I love this company, and it's about 8 by 4 inches by 2.5 inches. This will produce us about 1 pound to 1.5 pound loaf. We just need to spray some avocado oil inside that form, and it's ready to be used. I will check on my dough, and look at this. It's absolutely perfect. It has the right smell, has the right texture, is not too watery, is not too hard. It is perfect. It is not sticking to your hands, so we're just gonna play with it a little bit. So we're gonna try to form it into a log so we could place it inside our loaf container. Try to make it a little bit smoother. Sometimes it's better maybe to even flatten it a little bit, and then kind of roll it into the roulade, and then just tuck the ends and form the log and place it inside your loaf pan, and kind of just spread it around. And this dough has to proof for another 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it's gonna look like this. It is gonna rise to the top or above the top of your loaf baking dish, and it's optional, but I like to do it. I like to decorate it. You could use some seeds. I am gonna be using something else, but you can brush your loaf with some water in order for the seeds to stick to it. So I'm gonna be using 1 teaspoon of wheat bran. You could use oat bran. You could use some seeds, either sunflower seeds or poppy seeds, whatever you like. And then I learned this trick. I forgot where, but this is kind of a cute way of decorating your loaf. Instead of scoring it, just take a stick and make some holes inside of it. And this bread is baked in preheated to 410 degrees Fahrenheit oven for about 30 minutes. And then you will take it out, and it's always best to let fresh bread rest until it's cool and fully set before slicing. But of course, me, a little bit impatient, I just waited 10 minutes or so, and I want to slice this bread and show to you what it looks like. So here are the adjustments I made, and I will tell you why. The olive oil I use so the bread is a little bit more pliable, not crumbly, and the coriander I used to enhance the taste. I hope you like this video. Please check me on other social media platforms, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.